Hey guys, welcome to Golf Ball Addict. Another ball review here for you. And today is the Taylormade Tour Response. So I reviewed, if you didn't see it already, I reviewed the Soft Response, which is the other mid-range golf ball from Taylormade. So I went ahead and went right into the Tour Response. This is a golf ball that, honestly, from the advertisements, Taylormade says, swear by it, not at it, and that it's a tour level quality ball at a not tour level price. With most budget balls, you get most of the performance of a tour ball with just, a little give and take here and there. But TaylorMade, according to their claim, says that no, there's no sacrifice here. It is straight up a tour golf ball, just not priced like one. So it's got a urethane cover. It's a three-piece. The last ball, which was a Soft Response that I reviewed, it was the ionometer cover, not the urethane. So if you spend, of course, the extra $10, these retail for $34.99 a dozen, you get the urethane cover, which is going to stop on a green a little bit better, and overall has a little bit faster of a core as well. Get you a little bit more ball speed and have more of that tour response. The other one was more about forgiveness. This one's about workability a little bit more, faster ball speed, things like that. So let's dive in and see if those claims are true. All right, so overall, the golf ball does feel pretty soft. Honestly, it's got kind of that firm feel. If you've watched any of my reviews in the past, I kind of talk about a firm feel. It's not clicky, it's not soft, but it's just got a little bit of feedback. That's how this one feels. And it feels that way off the putter. It's very spongy. Around the greens, it checks up really well. It is soft enough to kind of absorb, but honestly, it's got the urethane cover, so it checks up really well. Not a lot of roll to it, just a little bit, depending on how you hit it. Flop shots seem to come off really well with it as well. And so all in all, I didn't have any issues around the green, which honestly, when you got a TaylorMade ball, it's not going to have any issues around the green. They've been making them for years, so I don't expect there to ever be any issues there. So let's just dive into the numbers. So on the 50-yard pitch shot, I got about 6,742 RPM averaged. So that's actually, I'm going to be honest with you, that's pretty low. I hit a couple extra shots just because this was so low. And, it could be a swing speed thing. There's a lot of variables when it comes to the golf ball. But honestly, I was getting more speed out of the Soft Response than I was this one. The Soft Response, I got 6,819, which is about 100 RPM more. And then, the Pro V1, I usually get about 7,800 with a high spinning ball, low 8,000s. So honestly, I didn't get a lot of good performance out of it in that regard. Honestly, it didn't spin enough for me. So, maybe I'd like to say I had an off day, but guys, when you hit 15 shots, I didn't have that off of a day. I was hitting them pretty clean. So, really not a good amount there. So, let's kind of compare the rest of the numbers and see if that's just a fluke. But overall, in all, I was not really that impressed with the 50-yard pitch. So full pitching wedge shots, I averaged 86 mile an hour ball speed, 7,656 RPMs. Where that comes normally into play, just to give you, some back data here, the Soft Response, I got 88 mile an hour with, so I actually got 2 mile an hour more. And then as far as spin goes, I only spun the Soft Response 6,890. And then I usually get about 7,600 out of a Pro V1, so that's more on par. So I did lose a little bit of mile an hour ball speed with the pitching wedge and the Tour Response, but I got the spin that I would get out of the Tour ball. So it's good to see that. It's back on track. Everything I'm seeing here as far as the pitching wedge numbers looks to be on track as far as the Tour quality ball. It felt good. So all in all, the pitching wedge was great. So the mid-iron. So let's see how the mid-iron compares here. This is where this is a chance for the Tour Response really to shine here. Mid-iron seem to do really well with budget balls, so let's see. 107 miles an hour, almost 108 ball mile an hour speed. That is way higher than I got with the Soft Response, and that is way higher than I usually get with the Pro V1. I got 104 with the Soft, 105 with the Pro V1, and 108 almost with the Tour Response. So that's significant on ball speed there. And then all in all, 5,730 RPMs of spin. That is the sweet spot for me. I love that amount of spin. It's just enough to get a little bit of extra distance, but it's still enough to hold a green with a mid-iron, and that is awesome. Great numbers there. By far better than honestly a Pro V1. A Pro V1 is going to spin about 6,500 from a 7-iron from me. It's a little too much. Most of the time with a 7-iron, it stops on a dime. I don't like that. I do want to have a little bit of roll, and that's exactly what this ball offered me. It was just a tiny bit of roll afterward. That spin number is right on the money, and I love the ball speed. One of the highest ball speeds I've averaged on a 7-iron, so that's really where this ball came into play. So if the 7-iron worked great, hopefully moving into the driver, hopefully the driver worked well too. All in all, this one, you know, in my last review when I did the soft response, I slowed my swing down a little bit. I did not do that with this one. I went full balls to the wall just to see if it would, you know, respond well like a Pro V1 should. And, you know, I averaged 229 yards with it, 143.5 mile-an-hour ball speed, and 2,776 RPM spin. Those numbers aren't mind-blowing, but they are on par. They do perform. Those are exactly what I usually hit a tour ball at. So honestly, yeah, I mean, the performance there was great. So what I've seen so far is I've seen, you know, a tour quality response out of the driver, a tour quality response out of the pitching wedge, and then honestly, I've seen a little bit better with the 7-iron. The only thing I really had an issue with seems to be that sand wedge. And, you know, there's a lot of variables there. It could have been a fluke, but I don't feel like it is. Even when I played it on the course, I did feel that like my 50-yard pitch shots just weren't sticking as much as they normally do. So if I had to have one qualm about that, it would be, or one qualm about the ball, it would be that. But all in all, great performing ball. I'm not sure if they're worth the full $34.99 price tag. I think there's a lot of direct consumer golf balls out there that are a little bit less, like the Snell for $33 or even an F35 Control for $27. I think there's a bunch of options out there, but all in all, so far the numbers were pretty good. So who's the golf ball for? Well, you know, honestly, if you're a Taylormade guy and you play Taylormade balls, and let's say you tried the TP5, which is a great golf ball, but I personally don't like it. I don't like the 5-layer system, and if you're in that boat and you do love Taylormade, you know, your clubs are Taylormade and you have to use a Taylormade ball, this is a good substitute. It feels a lot softer than a TP5 would, and honestly, it performs about close to the same as a TP5 would. You probably wouldn't see much difference other than the feel. Especially for the average player, but I'm not sure I can really recommend it yet to just the average Joe. If you're someone who's looking for a good budget tour ball, I had a lot more luck with the Q-Star tour that I reviewed a while back. I enjoyed that ball a little bit more, and it was less money. So there's also a lot of direct-to-consumer balls, like I said. So at the price point it is, I wasn't super impressed by that regard, but if you're a Taylormade nut and you just have to use a Taylormade ball, you don't have to use the TP5 and spend $45, $50 a dozen. You can get a really good performing golf ball for $35 that I think a lot of people, you know, especially in that range, are going to really enjoy. And you're not going to notice much of a performance difference, especially for the price. Durability, honestly, it's a Taylormade golf ball. I don't think I need to say anymore. It performed great. I hit it through 1,000,000 shots, and it still looks brand new. So, you know, you hit it through 40 shots, and then you take it to the course and play it with the course, and then it doesn't, I mean, honestly, I think it could pass for a new ball. There's like one tiny little scuff there. But yeah, all in all, no scuffs there. It's perfect. I would give it a 10 out of 10 when it comes to durability, but that doesn't surprise me. Taylormade's usually pretty good at that. Yep, so all in all, guys, a great golf ball from Taylormade. That market is so saturated. It's not that it's a bad golf ball. It definitely isn't. It's a good golf ball. It's actually a great golf ball even. But with that market and that middle ground being so saturated, I get really picky about what balls I recommend over that, especially when it comes to value, because value is so important for me. And honestly, at $3 a golf ball, I think that a lot of people can do better and get the same performance for less money. I mean, honestly, you know, I've reviewed a couple myself, but I've seen a lot of reviews I've been doing over the last few weeks, and I think most people can do better. But if you happen to find one on the course, or you win them, or your buddy gives you some, or like I said, if you're just a Taylormade nut and you have to play a Taylormade ball, you won't be disappointed. I mean, it's a great golf ball. As always, guys, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and keep watching to keep saving. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you.